What is going on, guys? Brewer here, back again with another video, and you can see that we are back in the studio, but super excited to bring this video to you guys. It's all about Q4. I'm going to be giving you 7 very important things for you to know to be able to take full advantage of the entire 3 months of Q4 and also BFCM. So obviously there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of different strategies that you can follow to take full advantage of BFCM and Q4, but what I'm going to do in this video is kind of give you an overview of my stance on and how I plan on taking advantage of it. I'll also give some examples of previous things that I've done that have made me a ton of money. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So in terms of how to take full advantage of Q4, if you're an e-commerce store owner, it's going to depend, are you somebody who has many different winners? Are you somebody who has a single winning product and you're just trying to maximize and scale as high as possible? Or are you somebody who is currently testing products and you don't have a winning product yet? So obviously watch this video from your own standpoint and take the advice that I'm giving from your own standpoint. Basically what I'm trying to say is there's going to be different advice in here for different situations, and I want you to be able to utilize each and every one. I know a lot of you are going to be both, scaling a current winning product and testing new products. I think this video will be valuable for anybody no matter what your situation is. So the number one thing that I want to say is to find your winner right now. Do not wait until Q4 comes along. Do not wait until BFCM comes along. There's no golden hour or perfect timing to find the best products. So if you are product testing, obviously the goal is by the time Q4 comes around, you're already scaling and you're already in a position to where you can make money off of Q4. If you already have a winning product, instead of thinking it as finding a winning product before BFCM comes, I want you to think of it as finding a winning creative strategy or winning audiences that you can totally milk during Q4. So essentially, your goal is to have everything figured out by BFCM so that right when BFCM comes along, you already have your winning product, you have your winning creative, and you have your winning audiences, and pretty much all that you need to do is come up with a plan, launch it, and you can make a bunch of money. What I don't want to see you do is wait until the Thursday before Black Friday to go ahead and test new creatives and new audiences and new strategies and not really have an idea of what you're doing. The time to do it is right now. And yes, I do recommend testing new creative strategies and audiences during BFCM, but my point here is do not wait, because by the time it comes around, you already want to know what is working so that you can actually scale. The number 2 thing that I want to say is pre-order all of your creatives and have a plan for BFCM. Prepare things ahead of time, because I believe this will be my 4th year where I've participated in BFCM sales and scaling different stores during Black Friday. Everybody gets really busy. I don't know why. It's just one of those things where when you need it the most is when it's hardest to get. So keep that in mind, and this is why I would probably recommend that if you need new creatives, or if you're doing new creatives, new audiences, whatever, have everything done that you're going to need at least 10 days before Thursday, just so that you know for a fact that when BFCM comes along, you're not going to have to scramble to get new creatives made and all this crazy stuff. So for some of you, that might mean that you need to prepare 30 days ahead of time, because if you need to order all these different creatives and coordinate the actors, then you could have a lot of work ahead of you. And trust me, you do not want to procrastinate until a week until BFCM and then find out that all the creative companies, all the actors are busy for the next 2 weeks. Another thing that I would highly recommend doing, that I usually do for each individual store that I'm scaling, is creating individual launch plans during, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday of BFCM. So this is basically just having, every campaign that you're going to create, every ad set, every variation, the timing, when you're going to create them, what the strategy is, all planned out ahead of time, so that when the day comes and you're in that high pressure situation and you need to make a ton of campaigns, you know exactly what you're doing, and you're not trying to click a bunch of buttons at the same time as trying to think of the best thing to do. Think of the best thing to do ahead of time, put a lot of thought into it, so that when the time comes, you can go ahead and just pull the trigger and take the right actions. Another thing that I would like to say is, if I were you, I would plan to check your ads every 3 to 4 hours at a minimum on at least Friday and Monday, because these are obviously the 2 biggest days. These are going to be the 2 days where you can make the most moves. And yes, I do recommend modifying your ads, making new ads, turning off ads all throughout the day. Stay home, get some popcorn, throw on a movie, keep your laptop next to you, and just keep an eye on your ads. This will also allow you to push your ad spend to limits that, maybe you haven't pushed yet, and it'll put you out of your comfort zone a little bit, because at least you're not creating a ton of ads and forgetting about them. You can actually keep a close eye on them, and if you have something that is losing money, you can turn it off quickly quickly, and if you have something that is making money and working really well, you can scale it up quickly. Obviously, since there's only like 1 to 4 days during this period, this is why I usually recommend checking your ads every 3 to 4 hours, just because you want to be super active in your ad account so you can take full advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. Another thing to note is have multiple plans for different cases. I would have an initial launch plan, something that you would make Thursday night going into Friday morning, and then make different case plans based on how that first initial plan works out. For example, if your retargeting does really well, then maybe on day 2 on Friday, you would go ahead and create a lot more retargeting campaigns. But if your retargeting doesn't do well and your cold traffic does do well, then maybe you will turn off some retargeting, maybe launch some new retargeting with different creatives. You get the point. Make different plans for different situations. At least have it in the back of your mind that things are going to get thrown at you that you can't possibly prepare for them, but it is good to have a plan and some sort of idea of what exactly you're going to do. So the number 3 thing that I want to say is to leave your comfort zone. I really want to encourage you to push yourself to areas, maybe if the highest ad spend campaign that you've done is $500 per day, maybe test out a $1,000 per day campaign. Like I said, you're going to be checking your ads every 3 to 4 hours anyways, so the worst that happens is you lose a few $100s. Every single year I regret not going bigger, and coincidentally, every year I do go bigger, and every time I go bigger, it usually works out. So, don't be scared to 4x your ad spend. Don't be scared to push new limits, especially since, if you can trust yourself to check your ads and keep an eye on your ad account during BFCM, then it allows you to push yourself and be a little bit more comfortable that if it doesn't work out, you're not going to lose your ass. So one brand that we were working with last year allowed us to do a BFCM sale for 6 hours on a Friday. It's very, very complicated why we were only allowed to do it for 6 hours, but it's a pretty big brand and they had different contracts with different vendors. Anyways, I don't want to get into too much detail. We were just allowed to have a 6-hour sale, and we pushed 170 grand in sales during those 6 hours with only $5,000 in ad spend. It was like a 60 or 70 ROAS, some of the campaigns exceeding 100 ROAS, some of the campaigns that we created. And this was one of those situations where I definitely pushed some sort of limit, like spending 5K in 6 hours was a lot of different campaigns, because keep in mind, in order to spend 5K in 6 hours, you have to have about 20K a day in budgets. And we were doing a lot of retargeting, a lot of different new creatives, a lot of new strategies, a lot was going on inside of that ad account. And as hard as it was spending 5K, we could have easily spent 10 times that. We could have easily spent 50K and we still would have came out fine. Obviously, that would have been a lot of money, and that would have been far outside my comfort zone to spend 50K in 6 hours, especially since it was a client and it's somebody else's account. But I promise you that if we did that, we probably would have had $1 million day. So the number 4 thing that I want to put in here is do not set unrealistic shipping times as a drop shipper. Now, if you have your own fulfillment figured out, just ignore this part. You can just skip this section. But if you are a drop shipper, I am telling you right now, shipping times are going to be delayed to shit. This is going to be the biggest Q4 that anybody has ever seen, to be honest, in terms of online sales. And it's not only drop shippers, it's going to be Amazon, Walmart, like every single big company out there is selling online now, and USPS, FedEx are going to be backed up to hell, not even considering overseas coming into the US and also coming out of the US. The whole shipping situation is going to be a big fat mess, and what I would say is expect a 30% increase in your shipping times. So for example, if your shipping time is normally 7 days, I would probably expect like an 8 to 9 day shipping time. Could be even worse. Now, I don't really know what's going to happen. That's at least what we saw last year. And last year we had some COVID shit thrown in the mix. So it was a little bit worse than that. It was more like 50% higher shipping times. A lot of big brands are going to be using shipping times as a selling point. And I want to say that if you're drop shipping, this is just not an area that you should try to compete in, because shipping times are going to be all fucked up. And the way that I would solve this issue, honestly, is to get your fulfillment figured out right now. Make sure that you have the fastest shipping time in the most economic way, and then run it through. If you're doing BFCM, you're going to make a ton of sales, your supplier is going to be backed up, shipping times are going to be a little bit higher. Set up your customer support systems to be really, really good, so that when the emails come in, you can handle your people and keep your customers happy, or at least a little bit satisfied. Maybe have discount codes that you can give out, or partial refunds or gifts that you can throw in with the items, just to keep people happy. Another thing to keep in mind in terms of customer support is 90% of BFCM sales online are going to be complete impulse buys, which means that when 2 weeks go by and they still don't have their product, they're going to be extra pissed off because they barely wanted it in the first place. So keep this in mind, and I do want to say using shipping times as a selling point is really, really great if you run your own fulfillment, you have your own warehouse, and you're in control of all of those things. But as a dropshipper, it's not really a good idea, and I would honestly encourage you to be honest about your shipping times on your website. I wouldn't probably put them right in the product page, right where everybody can see it, but I would probably have a shipping policy and a refund policy that clearly states your shipping times and also clearly states that there might be a delay during BFCM. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're honest about it up front. Another thing that I want to say, and I've talked about this many times before on my channel, and that is do not kill your BFCM ads. This is something that a lot of you are going to try to do, and I would highly encourage you to not do it. And as long as your ads are profitable, just let them run. BFCM is your time to pop new creatives, and a lot of those new creatives are going to say things like Black Friday sale or holiday sale or something along the lines like that. And most people's instinct is going to be once the holiday is over or once BFCM is over to turn off those ads because BFCM is over or the holiday is over. And that's perfectly fine. And if you operate a brand and you're super stingent and picky with how you do this type of things, by all means, turn it off. I promise you're gonna make less money if you do this, but if you're somebody who's just trying to milk what you got and make a ton of money, I would highly recommend let them run. If they remain profitable, they remain running. It's really that simple. I once popped a winner during Q4. I believe this was 2018, 2017, 2018, somewhere around those time. And the ad creative was using a Christmas sale creative. So like literally the first line in the ad was Christmas sale. And it worked really, really well. We were getting like a 4 to 6 ROAS depending on the campaign, and we were scaling and we were off to the races. January 1st came along and I had to make a decision. Do I swap out the creatives to fit the festives, or do I just say fuck it and let it run? And obviously I just said fuck it and let it run, and we ran that creative all the way through April and ended up doing a little bit over 250 grand in sales, between December and April. Which again is nothing crazy, but had we turned off that creative, that would have been over 200 grand that we would have missed out on in sales. And I don't know what people were thinking when they were seeing our ad, in March with a Christmas sale. I don't know what was going on, but it was working. And honestly, to me, that's all that matters. And there were some comments like, why is there a Christmas sale running in March or whatever? And I personally thought it was funny. I had a good laugh about it. And, sometimes we would respond to the comments and be like, oops, we forgot to turn this ad off. Something along those lines, which I feel like might have helped us. Like maybe people were thinking like, oh, wow, look at these guys. They left their Christmas sale running. I'm going to take advantage of it. In reality, it was profitable, so we just let it run. But this is something that you want to keep in mind. Like I said, if you're trying to build a brand and have like a really good brand identity, this could be a little bit weird. Like you're not going to see ads from Adidas running a Black Friday sale in March. I understand that aspect of it, but especially if you're a dropshipper or if you're a newer brand, this could be a way to, milk more profits and make more money from your ads. Number 6, this one seems obvious, but I want to emphasize it and how important it is learning from others' past experiences with Q4. I have a video every single year for the past 3-4 years that I've made around this time. I usually make one talking about how I'm going to prepare for Q4, which is, this video right here. And I also usually make one after Q4 talking about what I did, what the results were, what I would do differently next time, and stuff like this. And I am not the only YouTuber. There's also other YouTubers out there that are very successful with e-commerce that have shared what they've done and what their plans were and what they would have done differently. So I would highly encourage you to go out, watch YouTube videos, networking, talk to people that are crushing it in e-commerce, and figure out different things that you can do, different things that they've done, how it worked for them, specific things on how they're planning for it, if they're doing any preparation or if they just wing it. There's a lot of small things that you can ask them that I would highly encourage you to. And obviously leave your questions in the comment section, because not only will I be down there responding as much as I can, but there's also other people who are watching this video right now that have crushed Q4 in the past. And if you're one of those people, I would highly appreciate it if you would go down there and leave some feedback. Maybe I missed some things you want to add to this discussion. Please do. I love it when you guys engage with my videos. So the last thing that I want to say is to consider the possibility of, the benefits of bringing somebody on your team, an outside party. Maybe it's an employee, maybe it's an agency, maybe it's getting a mentor, getting somebody on your team who knows what they're doing and has experience on taking advantage of things like this, like BFCM, limited time sales, stuff like that. So Q4 is only 3 months and BFCM is only 4 days. You don't have a lot of room for error, and it's very, very easy to have missed opportunity and missed revenue due to things that you maybe didn't see, or maybe things that you could have taken advantage of that you didn't just because you lacked the experience. For example, where most people would be able to make $100,000 because it was really profitable and they scaled it or whatever, I probably could be able to make $500,000 just because of my previous experience. I am able and more confident to see the opportunities and take full advantage of them in a smarter way, in a better way. That's just usually how it works. Experience wins, and getting somebody on your team that knows what they're doing could really make you a lot more money. Like, this is genuinely one of those times where hiring a mentor or an agency or getting an employee could really make a lot of sense for you, because it brings new ideas and it also brings experience to the table if you hire the right person. Now, I don't want to be too biased towards myself because I'm trying to give the best advice from a third party or just from somebody who's been in this game for a while. To get a mentor, agency, employee, something like that, obviously I have to plug myself. So I do want to say that if you want to work with my team and you want to talk about maybe we can help you scale, maybe we can help you test products, if you want to talk about how we can help you take advantage of Q4 this year or BFCM, feel free to schedule a call down below with my team, and we'll have a discussion about it. But other than that, doesn't matter who you hire, just make sure that they have experience and they've been through a few Q4s and they've made the mistakes and they've learned their experiences and they have strategies and plans in place that have worked in the past. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope it was really valuable for you, and if you want me to make another video on Q4, or if you want me to go more in depth on any of these specific ones, feel free to leave a comment, make video requests. I am looking for more video ideas right now. The creative noggin's running out. So I would highly encourage you to ask questions in the comment section. And if you're somebody who wants to add to the discussion, as always, feel free to answer the questions. I know a lot of you guys give each other advice down there and I love seeing it. But that's pretty much it for this video. Hope it was valuable. If it was, leave a like, subscribe. But this is Noah Brewer and I'm out. Peace.